Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's hands-on lab, we will see some of the useful features of AWS Lambda, versions and aliases. What are versions? When you want to finalize your Lambda function, you can make it as a version so that you cannot change the Lambda code, right? By default, Lambda functions are mutable, means you can change anytime. But if you want to rapid finalize the code, you can make it as a version. Then what is alias? Is a function pointer or version pointer. It will be quite useful when invoking the Lambda function. So we will see in today's lab the useful features of versions and aliases and how they work together with API gateway feature called stage variable. Okay, let's get started.
All right, let's start our hands-on lab. Now we'll connect with our AWS console. First of all, we'll go and create a Lambda function. Okay. In the search bar, I'm just typing Lambda to get the Lambda console. So I get the Lambda console. Now we'll go and create a Lambda function without any version and see how to connect with the API gateway and quickly test. Okay. So I'm going to author the Lambda from the scratch, the function name fn get customer. Okay. Just like that. Get customer and then create function. I accepted the default options and then click the create function button and our function is being created. I'm just opening the code part of code tab. Yes, the index.mgs. So it comes with default boilerplate code. I want to get some good response. So I mean some good template. So I'm just going to replace this response object like that. Okay. Nothing fancy, just returning the status code 200 and there is a body part. Okay. Body just the customer fetched successfully and things like it is the customer object. The like ID, name, and email address. Now I have to use it, so I need to deploy this one. Okay, because I edited. There's a button here, deploy. I'm deploying. Successfully updated the function get customer. So we can quickly test it. There is a test tab. Click the test tab, and you need to create the test event. So test, just to give the name test, and save, and just click test. Okay. So the execution start succeeded. The detail. So I get the response status code 200, body, the message, and everything is there. Okay, the whole object. Okay. Now, if you want to connect this one with the API gateway, let's also quickly do that. Now we create a new API. Now there are wide variety of options. HTTP WebSocket. Now the preferred way is REST API. That's the standard. So click REST API. I'm going to create a new API. The new API, let's keep like my customer API. That's fine. Or just customer API. Customer API. I accept the default settings. Click to create API. Okay. Now the first thing we have to create the resource. Okay, create resource. In the resource, I'm going to give the name customer. Customer is the resource. Okay. I click the card so that I get options method. Anyway, no, I don't need it, but anyway, keep it. Create resource. Now I get, now I need to create the method. Create method. The method type I need get method because I need to point that a Lambda function. So integration type, of course, I need to point to the Lambda function. I need just, I'm putting the proxy integration so that the entire request will go as it is. Then I need to provide the point the Lambda function here. Okay, I have the function or ARN here, so I just go and paste here. Okay, paste here. See the function on function colon fn get customer. That's the function ARN. Okay, I pointed. Then click to create method. Successfully created. Okay, still doing it. Done. So function API, the get customer API is now pointing to that Lambda function. We can quickly test. There's a test tab. Test. Click the test button, and you get there. You go. Message and the message body. Okay, customer and everything. So the response header and everything. So our API is working fine. Now we can uh, deploy and give it to the customer. So once you deploy, you will get the URL, then you will give it to the customer. Okay. Now, if you want to deploy, you select this one, create a stage, like for example, test stage, and deploy. Okay. Once you take it to the stage, dev stage, you get the invoke URL. Copy this one. After the dev, then you put the resource name, customer. You see, your API is working fine. So you can give it this API URL to your customer, and they can start integrating. They can start using it in their application. Okay, that's perfectly fine. But there is a problem in Lambda function because this Lambda function is mutable. Tomorrow I can go and change something. Okay, so by if I change something, then the customer will get affected. Means this customer, I mean, your Lambda function is not protected. I mean, okay. So protect the Lambda function, to make this Lambda function immutable, as this is currently immutable, okay, it is better to create the versions, okay. So the best practice is once you are satisfied with your function, Lambda function, go and create a version. So how to create a version? There is the actions button menu, publish new version. Okay, click here to publish new version. The publish new version for the dollar latest. So the default one which is a mutable function, carry the default version which is dollar latest, right? So this version is mutable. So if you want to make immutable version, then you need to publish a new version. Okay. For example, I want to keep version 1, V1. Click publish. Okay. You can only edit your function code or upload new zips are from the unpublished function page. Okay, so that means you cannot edit this function. You can see :1. So this function is changed slightly different. You see, this is a function. If you go to the versions, you will find version 1. Okay, so this version is immutable. If you click the version, click the code, See, you cannot change this code. There is no deploy option. You cannot change this code. Okay. So this customer object we are sending cust001. Okay. Now to create another version, we need to go to the function itself, the dollar sign, the default one itself. See, this is the default one version. Okay. This version you can change. Now I'm changing the object returning this one and say different name James. Also changing the email James. Okay. So I'm just changing the response and then I can deploy it. Okay. Yeah. Now this function is updated because I can only able to update the dollar latest function version. Okay. So this is updated. Now I can go and create a second version, publish a new version. So this version I call it like V2. Okay. So second version is also created. Now if you go to the function, go to the versions, there are two versions, version 1 and version 2. So the version 1, if you click the code, my PC is pretty slow now. This is written in John Doe, right? If you go to the second version, it will return the James. Okay. Now we created two versions. Now we need to properly attach the function, appropriate function to the API gateway. Now we will notice the ARN get customer colon 2 for the version 2, and also for the version 1 it will be like a colon 1. So then every time we have to if there is any change, then we need to update the Lambda function, then we need to redeploy the API gateway. Okay. So the workaround is creating the Lambda alias, and then we can dynamically switch from the API gateway. We will see how to do it. Okay. Now let me go to the function, and there is a tab here, alias. Alias is nothing but pointers. It is just pointing the Lambda versions. Okay. You click the alias and create alias. The alias name you can give some name like dev alias. Okay, the development alias. The development alias, let it be dollar latest because you always do changes, right? For example, so dev alias, the latest one. Click save. Now we'll create two more alias. I am creating test alias. Okay, test alias. I'm pointing to the version 2. Okay, the latest version. The latest version is test version 2. So here I pointed test alias. Okay, now I go again to create another alias, which is the prod alias. Prod alias, I'm creating the prod alias. The prod is the most stable version, which is 1. Okay. So the prod alias, the original customer, original dollar latest code. Let me update the response just to differentiate. Okay. Customer fetched successfully. Just will add working mm, working copy, for example, just to differentiate, because whenever I get the dev, whenever I invoke from the dev alias, then I get this message. Okay, then I deploy it. I deploy it, I will not make a version out of it because this is the dollar latest mutable one. Okay, now we created versions, 2 versions, and we created 3 alias. Okay, the dev alias is pointing to the dollar latest, which is mutable one. Okay, the default Lambda function. The production alias pointing to the version 1, the most stable one. Then the test alias pointing to the version 2, which is the latest changes. Okay, latest changes, like you are likely moving to the production. Okay, that's why you are testing. So test alias. So now we have 3 alias. Now we'll go and create API to point to this alias, okay, and see how smartly we can dynamically use the Lambda alias. Okay, let me go to the API. Let's create new API. Let me delete this my customer API. Anyway, I don't need it. Okay, now I create a new REST API. Build it. It's a new API. API name my customer. Just to differentiate my customer extension API. For example, this is just the name. Okay, the default settings are fine. Click to create API. Now I create the resource. I give the same name, customer. Let me add the course, no problem. Okay, now I need to create the method. This time I need to same get method, same lambda function, lambda proxy integration, but this time instead of directly pointing the lambda function lambda, I need to point to the alias. Okay, how smartly do it? Like go to the alias and select the dev one, for example. Copy this one. This is the dev. Okay, colon dev. Copy this one. But every time, because this is we are going to hard code, right? Now we don't need a hard code. We can use the environment variable $sign lambda alias dollar stage variables dot lambda alias. Okay, you see, dynamically you can inject the lambda alias to point to the correct lambda function. Okay, now after adding this environment variable, okay, you have a message here. You defined your lambda function as a stage variable. Lambda function is a stage variable. Okay, run the following CLI command to ensure you have appropriate policy for this function. Okay, So this is suggesting to add permission because this is dynamic. So you need to manually give permission by yourself. Okay. So you can copy this command and we'll just quickly open the notepad and just so that we can change. This is just giving Lambda add permission, function name, get customer, stage variable. This one we have to add actual Lambda alias, which is dev. Okay, API gateway and everything is fine. Copy this one and you can do it through Cloud Shell. There is a icon here. Click Cloud Shell. Click. Okay, now our Cloud Shell is ready. Now I'm going to paste my command. Save paste for multi-line text. Yes, paste. Hit enter. Okay, so this it seems successfully executed the permission. Okay, now I need to add it to the second one, which is the prod alias. Okay, you remember I created prod alias also. Then I paste again. Okay, paste. Hit enter. Done. There's still one more left, which is the test alias. Test alias. Copy and paste here. Paste. Hit enter. So by this, I have added all the permissions. Okay, I followed this one. I added for all the permissions. So then I am going to click create method. This is going success. All right. Now we will test it in the API level. Click test tab. There you will get Lambda alias stage variable. Okay. Now you just enter the dev. Okay. Dev. Just type the dev. Dev as a Lambda alias to test our Lambda. You see the working copy. Okay. This is the mutable version. That's a dev. Now let me go and enter prod, which is to get the stable version. I'm just adding the prod here, then I get the stable version, which is the first customer, John Doe. Okay. Now I'm going to change this one to test Lambda areas, which is the most recent copy, which is the James. Okay, James. Okay. So my Lambda alias perfectly responding with the stage variable, which is Lambda alias. Okay. Now let me go and deploy this to the stage. First stage, I'm going to create a new stage. This stage, I'll create all the stages. For example, I create dev stage, deploy. Now I come to the dev stage. Okay, stages, dev stage. Here I have the stage variable. Okay, I need to add the stage variable. Edit, add a stage variable. Lambda alias value dev. Okay, save. Now our API is staged with the dev stage. Now we get the invoke URL. Let me copy this in the browser and enter the resource name. There I get, because this is the dev stage, so I get the stage uh, lambda corresponding lambda alias response, which is lambda response, which is the working copy. Okay, I have this stage, the stages. Now stage actions, I can go and create another stage. Okay, create stage. Let me go and create other stages. This stage is test stage. For example, I I take the latest deployment. Okay, I'm going with the default settings, which is fine. Test stage, create stage. Now I have the test stage. The test stage, let me go and edit this manage variables, add stage variable, lambda alias, and create, put the value test. Okay, this is the test stage. Okay, and you get the URL test. Copy this one, customer. Again, let's wait for some time. It will take some time. Lambda alias test. Okay, it took some time. I get the test response for the test alias. Okay, if we go and create one more stage, which is the production stage. We call it prod stage, and we'll pick up the deployment. Click create stage. So you got the prod stage. Just edit the stage variable, add stage variable, lambda alias. This time we put prod as a value. Okay, so this has been deployed. Now copy this prod one and adding the resource name. Now we have to get the production. Yes, now I get it. Okay, now we have seen all the options starting from creating the Lambda function and set up the Lambda alias and versions and pointing to the API gateway and creating the stages and see how we can dynamically inject Lambda alias. Also, we can create separate URL for the Lambda alias. Okay, thank you so much.